All right, so I'm getting down to business. Got the hair up, got my warrior paint on. Let's address this nonsense of Kathleen Kennedy's interview here regarding not having source materials to work with when it comes to Star Wars. As you know, I am the Legends girl trying to make it in this discounted world. And when I see interviews like this, when it comes to Star Wars, and knowing how much time and effort the franchise put in when George Lucas was in charge, when it was solely his franchise, with his brilliance, his creation, that includes the EU, to see this come out with Kennedy saying that it's not like they have novels with 800 pages and comics and other source material, and that their team is having fun putting things together. It pisses me off, and I'm trying to keep this clean as possible. But when you look at the greater picture, Disney decided, and yes, Disney, because Bob Iger is quoted that Disney is the one that made the decision. It is their interest to decide the path of Star Wars. So their decision was to basically put the wonderful like 25 centuries of lore that the EU expanded on, and also some cartoons and other material that you would think would be critical to them, because anything used by George, they wanted to use as their canon. And so they took that and coined everything Legends, and they wanted the freedom of creativity. And Star Wars has always been, up until probably now, I'm just watching the development, but probably until now, has always been a franchise that had one continuity and lore. 25 centuries of history, fictional history. That's what got us to love Star Wars. That's what created the interest in Star Wars between movies and even up until now. That's why I stay majority on George Lucas' side of Star Wars, his expanded universe, his movies, his games, all of that. The movies, of course, because that is the foundation, but the EU is the one that kept the franchise alive. It breathed life into the franchise, and they just basically suffocated that life. That's how I see that. So let's break this down a little bit more, okay? So in George's interview with Kathleen Kennedy, when she told him that she would protect the integrity of these characters, yeah, she might have been just talking about the main movie characters, but still, we know where that went. But also too, George also told her in the interview, I hand you this treasure trove of novels, of information, of Star Wars for you to use, for you to have, for your creativity to expand on. Take it. And Disney said, nope, let's make them legends. So now you see where this is getting at. They don't know where they want to go. She admits it. We don't know what we're doing. We have no clue what we're doing, but we're having fun screwing this shit up. This is how I see it. And yes, and so another interview, George, 2017, mind you, this is after the buyout. This is after Legends was coined, or EU was coined Legends. Excuse me. They have hundreds of novels to go off of. They decided to do it differently. Now, see, if George did not believe in the novels that was created in his EU, yes, it's his branding, it's his business, it's his franchise. He had roles in it, no matter how big or little. He had roles in creating the expanded universe. And so he's saying they have all this knowledge in front of them to use. to have, yet they're doing it differently. However, look at them. They're cherry picking. Let's use Thrawn here. Let's do this way. Let's do that way. Oh, well, let's go ahead and check about force projecting. And yes, it's a thing in the EU, but you don't friggin' die from it. But they take it and they flip all this shit on their heads. And if that's for creative freedom, I'm telling you, they're doing it wrong. And the first divide ever in Star Wars is when the EU was coined legends, no longer canon, are no longer authentic. So think about that. Not The Last Jedi, not even The Force Awakens. That split it up between as hardcore fans, if we're going to coin it that way, and the casual fans. So, and then those who love Disney more so than ever, and this is my perspective, I'm just calling it how I see it. Those who love Disney more and are anti-George or whatever are siding with Disney as well. So this is where it began, the divide. The greater divide are basically the nail in the coffin is the sequel trilogies. So how can they build a foundation or a home on a foundation that is already destroyed? And here they're saying, we don't know what the hell we're doing, but we're having fun doing it. So think about that. And so I say this with you here, I'm going to take a look at the EU novels, the original EU, take our legends. Take a look at them, read them, do your research, find the books that resonate with you. Study the timeline so you know exactly where they fall at. So, because a lot of people say it is jumbled up, out of content or out of sync or whatever. It's not. It's not. And there are people like me and Ryan and other people that can help point the way to help you successfully get involved with legends. Now we're looking at 2 timelines now, parallel universes. Our Star Wars never had that, but now I am in favor. If I can get original EU content or legend content continued, I would be happy. I would be thankful. I would be grateful. And so I welcome you guys to visit Twin Suns. Take a look at their campaign. I contributed with this too as well. And like I said, I'm passionate about the EU, original EU. And so that was a no-brainer for me. So we got the billboards purchased. We got it. They're going to go up. We're so excited. And this is just our message. This is our respectful message that we are still interested in legends. Especially with news about Kathleen Kennedy's interview. It's just, and I'm going to close it out here. That interview indicates episode 9 is going to be a mess. They don't know what the hell they're doing. So think about that. Yes, George is upset, and I didn't read into the part where it says George is upset. However, if they have to consult in him, that shows you they don't know what the frick they're doing. So you guys have a great day. May the force be with you.